Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 6.
Some West Fargo residents say a roundabout in their area is so small, drivers run over their sidewalks and even knock down signs.
Agree with them or not, officials say roundabouts are a cheap alternative to traffic lights in less busy intersections. But one in particular is causing more harm than good in a West Fargo neighborhood.
Valley News Team's Rose Itzkovitz looks into the complaints and the numbers behind roundabouts' effectiveness.
It's been kind of an eyesore and inconvenience all around.
Matt Staska lives right next to the Elmwood Roundabout in West Fargo. He says he and other neighbors never wanted it.
There's been semis down the road here. They try to make the turn and they literally drive right over the yard.
He says signs are also constantly knocked over. Tire tracks here in the snow show that drivers ignored the roundabout and went straight through the middle. In fact, a recent Nextdoor post says it causes more problems than it was meant to fix. Several neighbors agreed.
I don't know how well the planning was put into the roundabout. It is very narrow.
Josh Warner also lives right by the Elmwood Roundabout. He says it does get cars to slow down, but he questions its effectiveness.
None of the residents that were present at the city council meeting said that the roundabout was going to be a good idea. I felt like the city kind of forced this upon the residents because it's something that they wanted to do.
So how was a roundabout decided here? Since the Elmwood Roundabout is not a major intersection, accidents weren't tracked there. Officials say it was installed due to residents complaining of speeding on that road. West Fargo's Public Works Director Chris Brungard drove me through some of the town's roundabouts. He says they were addressed in a series of 3 public meetings, and that some people are against them because they simply don't want to slow down.
Now, as we come up to a roundabout, we usually design it so people will go, 15 miles an hour or less on a roundabout.
Another West Fargo roundabout at a larger intersection was installed after 17 crashes occurred within 3 years, from 2009 to 2012.
The bigger ones, to me, are really good at handling traffic. The smaller ones, the thing that I don't like about them is that makes it more difficult to plow snow. I'm not as big a fan of having a roundabout in the smaller neighborhoods.
Mayor Mattern says if people are unhappy with the roundabout, the city will listen, which resident Matt Staska can attest to. He once complained too many signs in the roundabout were obstructing drivers' view of the road.
They agreed to us right away when these signs were a problem. 2 days later, they were down, so they have worked with us.
That was Rose Itzkovitz reporting. And to be more specific, Mayor Rich Mattern says residents can bring up any issue either in a city commission meeting or by writing a letter or signing a petition. And again, they will listen.
We now have the name of the 2-year-old that was killed in a 4-car crash in Moorhead. Police say Zayden Ingen died from his injuries. He was in a vehicle with his parents when they were rear-ended by a pickup on Highway 10 near 34th Street. Zayden was in a car seat at the time of the crash. The driver of the pickup, 42-year-old Jeremy Sagvold of Sabin, has been cooperating with authorities and did not show signs of impairment after the crash. Investigators say they believe speed was a factor. Findings of the investigation will be forwarded to the Clay County attorney, who will consider charges.
A Fargo man who had been missing since December 31st has been found dead in his home. Police say Derek Jacobs was last seen on South University Drive in Fargo around 1:30 the morning of the 31st. Fargo police say they were called to Jacobs' home Friday night where they found his body. The incident is still under investigation, but police do not suspect any foul play.
Sure nice to see more melting today. It took away a little bit of the ice that's formed along the river at the Midtown Dam. Sounds like there might be more melting in the coming day or two. Well, let's first find out about tonight from Hutch.
Mike, thanks so much. It does look like some of our mild weather does continue. For now, big changes in the extended forecast. For this evening, we have clearing skies in northwest Minnesota, but clouds and periodic flurries of snow in southeast North Dakota. Nothing amounting to much. But our biggest concern tonight will be slowly falling temperatures down into the 20s down south and teens eventually. And we could have some patchy fog developing along with those slippery roads that happen as we head into the overnight hours. Temperatures in the upper teens in Fargo, wind light and mainly from the south. Again, watch out for patchy dense fog and haze overnight. Big changes in the Wednesday forecast you'll want to pay attention to, and I'll have those details coming up here shortly.
Much colder, I'm guessing.
Good guess.
Thanks.
You bet.
Police in Grand Forks are still trying to figure out how a juvenile accused of attempted sexual assault was able to make his way into a UND dorm. After officers put out this video, tips led to the arrest of the male. Investigators say he walked into the dorm, then into a woman's room where he began undressing her.
The hall itself is locked, so you need a key in order to get in by yourself. So one of the things through the investigation that we're looking at is how did these people get into the residence halls?
A second male suspect has been identified, and prosecutors are considering charging him as well.
A Minnesota man is expected to be okay after a rollover crash in Otter Tail County. It happened late last night on Interstate 94 east of Dalton. 21-year-old Hassan Fofana of Champlin, Minnesota, was westbound on the highway when his car went off the road and rolled in the median. Authorities say roads were icy at the time of the crash. Fofana was taken to a medical facility to be treated for his injuries.
The Minnesota Supreme Court could decide whether the state failed in its responsibility to educate poor and minority students. The closely watched case goes before the court tomorrow and could result in the first Twin Cities school desegregation plan in 2 decades. The Star Tribune reports the case began in 2015 when 7 Minneapolis and St. Paul families and a community group filed a lawsuit over the quality of education. A county judge ruled in 2016 that the parents had enough grounds to sue, but an appeals court later decided that the courts cannot define the standards for a quality education. Plaintiffs then took their case to the Supreme Court.
No school tomorrow for kids in Pelican Rapids as a result of a water main break in the city. We previously told you about the emergency detour through the town, and now officials are waiting for confirmation from the city before allowing students back to school. Parents were told over the weekend to make sure they send their kids to school with bottled water. The city is hoping water will be accessible by Wednesday. After-school activities are also canceled tomorrow.
For all of you proud Minnesotans and North Dakotans, you may be in the perfect place to raise a family. A new study by Wallet Hub ranks Minnesota 2nd and North Dakota 4th as the best states to have kids. The study compared all 50 states on 42 key indicators of family friendliness, including housing affordability, education, child care, and more. Minnesota and North Dakota rank in the top 20 for many of the key indicators, such as health and safety, and low percentage of divorce. In terms of highest media family salary, Minnesota ranks number 1. North Dakota ranks number 1 in education, child care, and social economics. Massachusetts tops the list, with New Hampshire 3rd and Vermont 5th.
If you are jumping back into an exercise routine, personal trainers say don't waste your time when you're at the gym. Instead, change your exercises to get a better workout. Trainers at Courts Plus say instead of spending an hour on a stationary bike or the treadmill, why not burn the same amount of calories building muscle by lifting weights? Bicep curls may help build some muscle, but trainers say push-ups will help tone your arms and chest while engaging your biceps. Finally, when it comes to getting washboard abs, it won't happen by doing crunches. Courts Plus offers beginner classes for those just getting into a workout routine.
And there's a lot of us.
Yes, there are.
Cross one more detail off the long list of Super Bowl happenings. Later on Valley News Live at 6, who will be singing the national anthem.
Up next, efforts continue to be better prepared in dealing with an opioid overdose. What's underway at the University of North Dakota?